The rift between warring factions in Rivers State is worsening. Groups loyal to Governor Fubara and former Governor Nyesom Wike are holding nocturnal meetings to firm up political strategies to outdo each other. This comes amid a series of litigations in the courts where parties have been asked to maintain the status quo. Arise correspondent Andy Omano-Omano has the details.
Like a recurring decimal, the political crisis which boiled over last October with the burning of the hallowed chambers of the House of Assembly in Rivers State is booting freshly again. Why the complex was immediately pulled down by the executive after that unfortunate incident for failing integrity test, President Bola Tinubu came to the rescue with what is today referred to as the 8-point presidential peace pact. But since then, there has been no love lost between the executive and the legislative arms of government, with the peace pact brokered by President Tinubu. Regrettably, the political crisis has led to different factions and those sympathetic to them seeking legal redress. For instance, the case instituted by the Rivers Elders Forum questioning the legitimacy of the 27 lawmakers of the State House of Assembly is currently on appeal, having been thrown out in the High Court. There is also that filed at the Federal High Court in Abuja by the Speaker of the Rivers State House of Assembly, Martins Amehule, against Governor Siminalayi Fubara, the National Assembly, and others.
Honorable Justice James Kolawole Omotosho, the judge of the Federal High Court in Abuja, had given a judgment on the speakership of Rivers State. If that matter has been touched upon, I'm not sure the lawmakers lack legitimacy. The governor should ask questions. The governor should go to court if he feels that and seek for interpretation.
You can imagine where a group will go to the court to challenge the constitutionality of an out-of-court settlement or a settlement. I know that there is conflict resolution and it has different types of resolution. It can be in the court, can be out of court.
But others at home with Governor Fubara are crying blue murder. To them, the impeachment call is luck taken too far.
It would amount to illegality after the governor has signed the Appropriation Act into law to go back and represent it. That does not show anything. So the governor is working according to law while he's carrying along the political agreement.
The Rivers people are not happy with what this House of Assembly are doing, but because we are in court, let them wait and see when the court pronouncement is made. When the court take a decision, then Rivers people will know what to do with them. But we are saying, well, you cannot put something on nothing. You cannot put legality on illegality. The whole process is illegal. They are no longer members of the House of Assembly by virtue of Section 109, and their seat has been declared vacant, and the Court of Competent Jurisdiction has accepted that verdict.
The issue concerning the defection of the members of the House of Assembly is pending in a court of competence. I guess by now it is at the Court of Appeal. If I am in the shoes of the president, not minding that probably I could be his advisor also, I'll remind myself that I swore to an oath to uphold the provisions of the Constitution.
Rivers State is bleeding as a result of this raging crisis. Every other state in the Federation has moved on. Governors are focusing on governance. This is not an election season, but unfortunately, every other day we are related by one and crazy political development, which keeps hampering the progress of this state.
But what should be done by parties to the crisis to ensure peace and rapid development of Rivers State?
The advice there is for the governor to have a state broadcast to appeal to those who he has advertently or inadvertently made to derail, that he wants peace.
Coming to Governor Wike, my appeal to him is that you had a dream for Rivers State. And what should bother you is not how many times sin greets you in a day or does not greet you. What should bother you is if that dream that you dreamt of Rivers State is being actualized.
There are those who say the ongoing political crisis is affecting businesses operating in the state and barring new investors, thereby causing undue hardship. They want all parties and their supporters to exercise restraint and prioritize the peace and progress of Rivers State. In Port Harcourt is Andy Omano-Omano, Arise News.
We're now joined by Andy Omano-Omano, Arise correspondent in Port Harcourt, Rivers State. Good morning, Andy Omano-Omano. Good to have you on the morning show.
Good morning, Dr. Abati.
Well, Andy, in all of this, we've been hearing about Wike faction, Fubara faction, and that House of Assembly in Rivers State. I think they've been on recess since December. The only thing we keep hearing is, conflict and the Rivers State being turned into a Rivers State House of Commotion. Now, what is the mood in the state? What are the people, the ordinary people, saying? Because in the long run, they are the ones being underserved, being short-served. What is the general feeling within the community?
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Abati, for having me this morning. Like rightly put it, it is gradually, this political situation here is gradually turning to be seen as the Rivers House of Commotion. You may not be wrong, rather, if you put it that way. The House of Assembly, Rivers State, have not been on recess since December. They've been sitting. They've actually been sitting. They'll be sitting at the legislators' quarters, the 27 lawmakers loyal to the former governor and the present FCT minister, Nyesom Wike. They'll be sitting, they'll be amending, and they'll be vetoing bills and passing them into law. What is the feeling of the ordinary Rivers person? That's the second adjunct of the question you asked. The Rivers people need peace. The Rivers people need development. Because like you also rightly pointed out, when two elephants fight, it is the grass that suffers. So the Rivers people are suing for peace. They want these political gladiators to rein in their own and make sure that the train of Rivers State continues to slide towards the much anticipated development, because there is so much to be done. And you will agree with me that in any situation where there is chaos, whatever level of development you are going to achieve may not be compared to when you are doing that in an atmosphere of peace. And so, to answer your question directly, the Rivers people are yearning for peace. They're asking for peace. They're asking the both factions to do the needful. That is, putting behind their differences. Because at the end of the day, whether you are in political party B, A, or C, it is the Rivers, they are all Rivers people. And it is the Rivers project that they are saying should supersede every factional or personal interest that anybody seems to be pushing in this crisis that is seeming to raise ugly head again. As at yesterday, some political analysts have described it as part 2 of the ongoing Rivers political crisis, because I know you are aware that the 3 lawmakers sympathetic to the incumbent governor, Governor Sim Fubara, yesterday appointed a factional speaker in the person of Victor Okojombo. And I know that this may have sent a very wrong signal to the other faction who, all through this night, I want to believe, did moderate sleep, because you cannot afford to sleep when there is a snake in your rooftop. And that is what has happened to both factions. Abati.
All right. Well, thank you, because I was actually going to come to the response of the other party, that's the APC in this case. There were 27 lawmakers defected from the PDP to the APC, and the APC chair had asked that they institute an impeachment process against the governor. Yesterday, the same interview that has been referred to, the Chief Saibe had talked about, or His Royal Highness had talked about the fact that some elders in Rivers State had instituted or taken those lawmakers to court, and that everyone should maintain status quo until the outcome of that procedure, of that process, court process. Do you think that the parties involved would listen to this? because there's a court case. There's a court case ongoing currently. And then, what would be the response of the APC in terms of this new speaker being elected by 3 members of the House, and what will be their next move?
Okay, thank you, Ayo. That's a very intelligent question. I must answer directly that regrettably, both factions seems not to be maintaining a status quo that the various courts had asked should be maintained. And for me, in a democratic system, that is very, very, very dangerous. Because if we can't obey our courts, then it does mean that we are deliberately pushing ourselves into anarchy, which would not do anybody any good. The Elders Forum did institute a court case, so also is the 27 lawmakers loyal to the former governor and incumbent minister of the Federal Republic or Federal Capital Territory. But both parties seems not to be, obeying what the court had instructed. And what will happen should this situation continue? I must tell you that there is an uneasy political calm here, especially since Monday that the governor paid host to that delegation from Bayelsa State, where he made that pronouncement that the 27 lawmakers are still there at his mercy because he does know what to do, but he's just trying to overlook in order to ensure that peace reigns. And yesterday's, election of a factional speaker. And so what that invariably means, Ayo, is that we have 2 houses of assembly in Rivers State as we speak. And a situation where you're supposed to have 1 house of assembly and you have 2, it shows that there is chaos already. And so, like everybody is yearning for you, especially those who are not politicians, they are suing for peace. They are asking both factions to rein in their supporters so that they don't set this all-important state on fire. Because when that does happen, it will affect not just neighboring states, but other states in the south region. And I know you do know the strategic, position of Rivers State when it comes to the mainstay of the nation's economy, that is oil and gas. Ayo.
Well, thank you very much, Andy Omano-Omano, for joining us on the morning show. Thank you very much.